And so on. I'm known as what's called a collaborative pianist. That means I don't sit around playing pre-Chopin etudes while my family does the dishes. I was a keyboardist in a professional orchestra for 25 years, the St. Louis Symphony. Now so I don't know if you can see him, but he's here with us. Do you see him? Yeah. Nice hair, right? That's his best hair day he ever had, I assure you. And yeah, this is how we usually think of him, sort of scowling. But I want to tell you, he had good reason to scowl. He was essentially an abused child. Mr. Beethoven would come in the middle of the night in a drunken state, and he would get the neighbor up, and they would sing, and they'd get Ludwig up from bed and make him play for them. And eventually his father was even arrested for public drunkenness and dismissed from his job. So around age 13, Beethoven was essentially the breadwinner for his family. I mean, he just was a difficult man. He literally did things like write a symphony. His friends, I don't know how he had any, but he did. I think it was just because they acquiesced to his genius. But he'd do things like wake them up at 5 in the morning and say, I added a trombone 2 part last night. Get a trombonist for this performance tonight. So they'd pull it off. Then after the concert, he'd be mad and say, I think you kept some of the money. What? So I think he just grappled all his life with his demons from his childhood. Despite, the kind of brusque nature of some of his pieces, he also had that very tender, heartfelt side. And that's also his music, beautiful pastoral nature. So that was all in there, but his circumstances really didn't allow that to show too very much. And I think he was very much a person trapped by his own personality. I would say that Beethoven is like Mozart as an orchestrator. That means, you all have a person who made your band arrangement of this piece for you. So he's an orchestrator and decides this voice should have this thing, or how do you take woodwinds and make them sound like an organ? There's places like that in Beethoven symphonies. So it's how he used the orchestra, but he also grew it. The Beethoven Ninth Symphony, which is the, oh my gosh, that's just stage is full. Powell Hall stage is packed with a chorus of 150 people and like 90 musicians and a timpanist. So it's one thing, it's just bigger, more people. And so that gives you more, what do we say, coloristic possibilities, what you can create sound-wise. Your piece, the Beethoven Fifth, really shows all of those unique characteristics he had. And one is just, he's not afraid to shock people at all. He's like a heavy metal rocker in that sense. And I think that really comes from his personality. So the first thing you notice about this motif is that it's in unison. That's very unusual to start a piece without a nice harmony to establish the key. And right now we have 2 notes, but you kind of need 3 notes really to know if you're in this key. But if you have these 2, you could be in E flat major, right? So it's a little mysterious. We don't know where he is key-wise at the beginning. And he goes from the big loud unison to so he's all over the place. And just when you think it's kind of pastoral and calm, you are not going to sing very many Beethoven ideas in the shower. That is more Baroque thing. So if you look at the music of Bach, you're going to have a little short motif. So instead of having this beautiful flowing la 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 singable tune, he does. Now how efficient is that to have everything in this movement driven by those 4 little notes. That's pretty extraordinary. So how to develop ideas is a big thing. It's not just that he repeated that in the development of the thing, but he, gave it to so many different people in so many ways and orchestrated by so many other people. Like da 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 ba 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 da 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 da, that sort of thing. That's what we mean. And then you finally get to go in a more relaxed tune, right? That's Beethoven's nice side, and we're so glad he had one. Because without it, it'd be like watching a horror movie with no comic relief. It'd just be too intense. And let's think about, go back to those Jane Austen things, how nasty nice the well-to-do people of the day were. So those are still the same people that Beethoven was writing for. And they were not accustomed to being shocked, but he sure did it to them, didn't he?
Everyone,
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody's like, thank you, Vera. That's okay.